Hey guys, JustinSlaght. This is my review of the Man of Steel. So I just got out of it. Thought I would give 2 cents about the newest Superman flick, and I don't know how I feel about it. If I can be honest, I'll be straight up with you. I don't know how to feel. Um, I definitely have more positives than negatives, but this is going to be kind of difficult. Um, well. Let me tell you about the movie. It starts off in Krypton, which in all the other Superman movies, we don't really see that much of Krypton. But here we probably spend like maybe 15 minutes on Krypton, and it's actually really cool. Jor-El, I think that's his dad's name, sends Kal-El, or Superman, to Earth because Krypton is being destroyed, as it did in the comics and as it did in the other movies. And Henry Cavill, who plays Superman, grows up and he's a bit of an outcast. He doesn't want people to know that he's Superman, or that he's Superman, that he has special powers. He was taught by his mom and dad, or his foster parents, his Diane Lane and Kevin Costner. They tell him, don't show your true self to other people because they'll freak out. They're not ready. And as this is going on, Michael Shannon's character, General Zod, is sent to Earth, or he goes to Earth because he wants to capture Kal-El, and he wants to rebuild Krypton. Let me start with the positives first. I thought Henry Cavill, I think that's how you say his name, does a great job as Superman. I thought he was very likable. I thought his acting was very good. I thought he really doesn't have a lot of dialogue in the movie, but I think that works because he's expressing through his emotions and his facial expressions. It's actually very good. I thought that I don't know anyone else who could have played him, but he does a great job. Is he the best? That could be debated, but I thought he did fine. I also thought that both Russell Crowe and Kevin Costner did very good as both of his parents. I thought that Kevin Costner did a better job, too. I mean, I haven't liked Kevin Costner in a long time, and I thought that he did a very nice job. Amy Adams plays Lois Lane. I thought she was alright. There's a couple others in there. I don't remember their names. I thought that the first half of the movie, when they're trying to, they're trying to set up Kal-El's, his origin story. I thought that they did a fascinating job with how they told it. There's not a lot of, jokes in it. There's not a lot of, light-hearted stuff. It's actually kind of dark. And you have to feel sorry for Kal-El. Like, they show his past through, flashback and stuff, which I think is actually a pretty smart, kind of a smart part on Snyder's part to, tell it kind of backwards. After Krypton is gone, we immediately cut to, Kal-El growing up. Or he's already grown up. And as the movie goes on, you start to see him as a kid. And I think that those are the best parts of the movie. I think Snyder does a pretty good job of directing the actors. I think the cinematography is very nice. And I love the music, too. I really do. The soundtrack to this movie was absolutely awesome. Which brings me to the negatives. First off, I'll get to the biggest one in just a minute. But I was very, very disappointed in Michael Shannon. He plays General Zod, and I thought he was not very good. And I love Michael Shannon. I thought he's been in a lot of good movies. He was recently in that biker movie. I don't remember what it was called. And I liked him in 8 Mile as the dad. I like him, but here he's not given very much. I mean, he doesn't have what like the other General Zod did. Like I don't really remember what he said, because do you remember what the old one said in the past? But this, he's just kind of a generic bad guy. And I thought the second half, it did have some good action scenes, but they just go on and on and on. Like, I mean, they don't, like, it doesn't take a break. Like, as soon as you get to the second act and they start fighting, it's just, there's too much of it. Like, Superman and General Zod can't die, pretty much. So, you're basically watching two robots beat the shit out of each other for like 20 minutes. And it's like, this is getting ridiculous. Like, you remember that fight scene in The Matrix Revolution with Agent Smith or whatever, and they're flying all over the city and stuff? That's kind of how that feels. You remember the scene in Pirates of the Caribbean when Jack Sparrow and Barbossa are fighting each other, but for the time being, it really doesn't matter because they can't die because of the medallions. That's how this feels. These two can't die, and they're just punching the holy dick out of each other, and it's just, it goes on. But that's not my complaint. That's not my primary complaint, because there are some good action scenes. My biggest complaint is the second half clearly betrays the first half. It makes Kal-El look like an asshole, because lots of people die in this movie. Lots of people die. Now, I know what you're saying. Well, Superman can't be at two places at once. So when General Zod has that world thing come to Earth and start blowing up shit, lots of people die. That's not the part I'm complaining about. The part I'm complaining about is when Kal-El and General Zod start to beat the holy shit out of each other, and they're flying all over buildings and stuff. Now, it would be fine if Zack Snyder didn't pay so much attention to people. Like, there's a couple scenes where they show innocent people running around trying to find cover and stuff, because that gives me the thought that there are still people in the city, and lots of people are dying. Lots of people are dying. And it's almost like Superman doesn't care. Like, I mean, he's being super reckless too. Like, he's flying through buildings. He's tossing Zod through shit. I mean, they're like, his lasers are going all over the place. It's just too much. And you're like, wow, that first half of the movie when Kal-El is trying to like be like heroic and stuff, and they do a pretty good job in the first half of showing that, but then it completely just drops the ball and just says, you know what? Or Snyder says, you know what? I'm just going to make the rest of the movie a typical summer, summer movie. I'm going to make it into a summer movie where we get terrible, terrible jokes. We get an over-the-top action scenes, and it seems to be the running theme of these summer movies so far. Even with Star Trek Into Darkness and with Iron Man. It seems to be the exact same theme, where they start off intense, and then they just say, fuck it. I'm very disappointed because I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm not a Superman fan at all. I've never cared for Superman in the comics or the movies. But I know everything about him, and every time I hear that they're making something related to Superman, I always want it to be good. Because Superman has so much good backstory that I want him to succeed. But I'm not saying that this movie is bad, because it's not. But to me, it could have been greater than it is. Or than it could have been. I don't want to go into spoiler territory. I really don't. So I hope I didn't ruin the movie for you, because I'm not keeping track. But I'm going to give the movie... Okay, if I had to give it a rating, I would give it a thumbs up, because I do think as a summer movie, it works. But if you're looking for Superman to be, told like differently and more effectively than recent movies, you're not going to find anything here. And if Zack Snyder is not your kind of director, then this is clearly not for you at all. But I thought it was okay. It had decent performances, really good special effects, a lot of good action. But that's just me. So I would not say don't go see it. I would say give it a chance. But be ready. That's all I gotta say. Alright, well that's my review of The Man of Steel. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I am JustinSlaght. Take care.